Provenance is the, it's a bit of a fancy word actually. I'm not a huge fan of the word because it's a bit sort of confusing, but provenance is the idea that you know where, you know the origin of the thing that is running in production. And that's the origin of the software, the origin of the data, the origin of the model that's being trained and all these things. So you can go back to a very specific point in time when things go wrong, and they do go wrong. And when they do go wrong, we can ask the question, okay, why did that particular, you know, observation get a completely wrong prediction when it clearly should be good? You can go back and look at the data at a very specific point in time, look at the code at a very specific point in time, you know, all that good stuff. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that you're, you know, packaging the artifact that's being deployed into production well, which relies on having all of the pipelines in place to be able to build it properly. Repeatability is kind of, you know, very similar, really. I think that the thing at the end there, the CI/CD for ML, that's another thing that's really missing at the moment. There isn't much standardization, and there's a big gap there for doing CI/CD, but for ML, for models, and for data as well. Because the vast majority of projects I come across do not validate their data. They do not validate the data as it's being used within the system. So they get failures all the time, but they're kind of accepted as normal because they're like, oh, well, that's normal because they've just passed there's some missing data there. There's an NEN in that data, so obviously it fails. Well, it shouldn't fail. It shouldn't, you know, we should have something in there to validate the data before it hits your system. And again, it's very much a software engineering task, but it's important for data science.